going on, Guardians? This is your main man Sly here, dropping you another juicy video on all the currently publicly available known primaries. I wanted to do a video on the entire arsenal of exotics at these fingertips, but after collecting all the images, all the stats, I realized that nobody wanted to see a 90-minute video, and my shitty jokes can only entertain you for so long. Keep in mind, guys, that Bungie has already declared that they have purposely deleted items out of the database so there wouldn't be any spoilers of the super delicious, super awesome items that will drop later on in the game. One of them might just be this, the Touch of Malice. Now, I have a small video briefly touching on this subject, so check out the link in the description below if you want to set your appetite on an unknown weapon. Alright, so let's get down to it. Now, first of all, Bungie promised and Bungie delivered. There are some absolutely sick weapons and armor in the Taken King. I want to show them all to you, but first up, let's go over the exotic primaries. Okay, this one right here is called the Fabian Strategy. By the way, a little side note here. I messed up a recording a while ago and called it the Fabio Strategy. I chuckled myself shitless and had to leave the room to calm down. You know, it actually still makes me laugh now. Well, anyways, yeah. Okay, so Fabian Strategy. This modern-looking assault rifle is right up my alley. With the rate of fire ranked at 88 and its impact at 8, it's a pretty common archetype of AR. Similar to the Abyss Defiant in rate of fire and impact, although that's where the similarities end. Besides looking sexy as hell, the exotic perks on this bad boy are front lines, increased handling, stability, and rate of fire when enemies are close, and life support. Kills while critically wounded have a chance to start regenning your health. Now, I really like this beast. The downfall of the Abyss Defiant was its meager rate of fire to its wimpy impact. If you could bump that up just a wee bit and heal in the process, this could be one killer weapon in both PvP and PvE. Up next is the exotic hand cannon Ace of Spades. This delicious looking all black hand cannon rocks a rate of fire of 22 with impact reaching out to 88. Its exotic perk is called Maverick. Precision kills move one round from your reserves into the mag. Highlighted by Firefly and Perfect Balance, I cannot wait to get my greasy hands all over this weapon. Exotic Fatebringer? Yes, please. It has some pretty atrocious stability though, and I'm hoping Perfect Balance can help with it out a little bit. But either way, killing enemies by way of a precision shot, refilling one bullet instantly? Man, now for everyday tier 1 enemies, this will be the gun to have. Most tier 1 enemies die with one shot to the dome no matter what level they are. So unlimited ammo with headshots causing explosion after explosion, me likey. Okay, bear with me here because this gun has a very weird name. It's called Tlaloc, Either way, man, this rangy scout rifle puts out a rate of fire of 37 and impact at 48. It's comparable to the Fang of Yut, but without its stability. It does have injection mold to help you out on that department, but at the cost of range. Its exotic-worthy perks are the combination of Overflow and Eye of the Storm. Overflow is when this weapon will have better handling rate, rate of fire, and stability when your super is fully charged. Eye of the Storm helps you with accuracy when your health is in decline. There's nothing too fancy here, but it's a great futuristic-looking scout rifle. One thing that stands out to me is the purple warlock symbol on the stock. Class specific, maybe? Time will tell. Zelo Supercell is up next, and if you've kept up with Game Informer over the past couple months, you would have seen this bad boy in action. Now, I can't use the video because I do not have the rights for it, but you can easily find it at GameInformer.com. Even though this has a rate of fire just like the Abyss Defiant, it's nothing like it in the slightest. A mix between an AK-47 and a lightning bolt, this AR-like weapon shoots out arc energy. It has a great reload and decent stability, but it definitely suffers at range. Its exotic perks are Zelo Supercell. Arc projectiles have a chance to chain lightning together when enemies are bunched up. And the other one, Bolts from the Blue, is double kills grant you a chunk of super return while also returning ammo to the magazine. The nice thing about this weapon is that it has persistence, which helps it out in the stability accuracy department. I don't know what to say about this gun though. It definitely looks cool, but with the gameplay I've seen, I gotta be honest, man, it looks a little weak. The perks are great, and depending how well it actually performs in these hands, it could be a killer in PvP and PvE, but until RNGesus blesses me with one, we're just gonna have to wait. Moving right along her, we have the First Curse. A hand cannon similar in style to the recently nerfed Last Word, but shares nothing else in common with it. This hand cannon rocks the super slow rate of fire archetype, but those come with massive impact. Rate of fire 15, impact 94, it's just like an exotic Timber's Lash. Stability is absolutely non-existent, as well as its reload. Hand cannons have seen a reduction in range, so 32 is average. The perks that make this weapon are called Deadeye, Triple Tap, and the First Curse. Deadeye gives bonus to range, stability, and movement speed while in ADS. Triple Tap has been around for a while now, and just like on the word of Crota, hitting 3 precision shots will return 1 round to the mag. The First Curse perk states that precision kills while aiming down the sights, or ADS, grant increased range, stability until your next reload. I'm going to be honest and say that I'm an exotic hoarding fool. And this will probably be taken out on patrol a few times, maybe once or twice in the Crucible, and that's about it. It's off to go gather dust in my vault. Honestly, I don't think that these hand cannon archetypes are all that great at anything but PvP. Although sporting this bad of a stability rating, you might not be able to consistently get the dreaded 2-shot in a match. There isn't a damage buff, and with nimble pulse rifles dominating right now, this could be a handicap more than anything. I could be wrong, but I think I nailed this one. Alrighty y'all, the next ones are kind of tricky, and I wanted to sprinkle some light on a bit of confusion in the weapons department. But first up, let's check out this exotic scout rifle called the Bolian Gemini. It rocks the same rate of fire to impact ratio as the Fang of Iryut and the Tlaloc, but excels in range, stability, and reload. It has hammer forged and perfect balance, so you can choose if you want to go long range or pull off some smooth shots. The sexy exotic perks that go along with this weapon are called One Way or Another, and you must select between one of them. One Way grants bonus agility upon precision kills, which can stack up to 3 times. The second perk option, called Or Another, grants bonus armor, which also stacks 3 times, but with body shots. Now these are pretty specific perks, and I'm not sure how useful they will be. In the heat of battle with little or no health left, I'm not thinking about pulling off 3 body shots for armor, or trying to cap Hive in the dome 3 times. Who cares about running away faster? I'd rather live. It just doesn't work that way. Either way, the stats on this gun alone make it a good weapon, and bonus agility or armor, when you can get it, come on, it's never a bad thing. Okay, one thing though, Guardians, take a look at this weapon. Doesn't it look familiar? It does, because it's identical to the weapon that was in the database all of last year called the 347 Vesta Dynasty. Everyone went nuts for this unobtainable weapon, but it simply was never in the game. So what happened to it? If you follow weapons closely like I do, then 2 things start to show up. 1. A sidearm came out with the House of Wolves with a name almost identical, the Vestian Dynasty. What you might have missed, however, is the weapon's description or paragraph that's underneath its attack rating. They're identical. They both say, a Reef Scout hunts for years fighting piracy and ancient traps, to crack 1 cache and claim the weapons within. The 347 Vesta Dynasty no longer exists. It's wiped from the database, and the weapon was stripped of its name, changed ever so slightly, then given to a sidearm, the Vestian Dynasty, while the actual gun itself was renamed and reworked into the Bolian Gemini. Okay, so while we're on the topic of lost exotics, what about the fate of all fools? Here's another enigma that drove the community crazy. Now, this weapon does in fact exist, but there was only one of them out there, and it's never coming back. It was given to a gentleman suffering from brain trauma as a gift to a loyal player, and also as a rehabilitation tool that his doctor recommended. Video games are great stimulation of your spatial awareness, visual cortex, reflexes, and motor skills. Okay, so now what happened to the fate of all fools? Well, similar to the 347 Vesta, it was freshened up a bit, and it has turned into these 2 exotics. The exotic pulse rifle, No Time to Explain, and the PS exclusive scout rifle, the Jade Rabbit. The gun itself is still present as No Time to Explain, while the exotic perk, Fate of All Fools, now rests snugly within the Jade Rabbit. So, I hope that cleared up a few things. But, how about that Jade Rabbit? This sniper-like scout rifle has a sweet, streamlined, Certos-like look to it and sports the range to back it up. Rate of fire, 27, impact 61, and it's in the same archetype as Galeon's Demise and the Badger CCL. Now the perk Fate of All Fools is listed here. Chaining body shots gain bonus damage on your next precision shot and returns ammo to the magazine. Its reload is great, and while it slacks on stability, these type of scouts usually don't suffer stability problems due to their low rate of fire. Zen Moment helps you out with this though. Add on spray and play, custom optics, and you have a recipe for one seriously badass scout rifle. Not only does this look great, but its already deadly damage, range, and impact send this through the roof. Add the exotic perk Fate of All Fools, and this thing just becomes silly, man. Like, nothing will ever get in your way wielding this, Raid or Crucible. Now, as far as No Time to Explain, it's been confirmed as the only exotic pulse rifle in the Taken King. There's a little gameplay available as you can see here by the screenshot, but details are sketchy. If you want to see the entire video, check out GameInformer.com. Now, rumor has it that once you obtain a certain consumable, the Stranger's Rifle ascends from legendary to exotic. So thus far, it's making sense. If some of you haven't noticed, your blue Stranger's Rifle you acquired from beating Vanilla Destiny has been transformed into a legendary version. If you deleted it for vault space, don't sweat it. Down below inside the tower where the Hall of the Vanguards are, you'll see a kiosk to the right hand side where Xur sometimes will spawn. This is your abandoned quest kiosk. Here you'll find all of Year 1 content that has been reorganized into quests. Just look for the one on Venus and the Stranger. Follow instructions and complete a crash course for the end of the campaign in Year 1, and you will receive a legendary Stranger's Rifle instead of the blue one. This is why it is believed that just like the Eidolon ally has turned into Necrochasm, the legendary Stranger's Rifle will turn into No Time to Explain. It even hints at it in the gun's title, when you first meet the Stranger and she tells you that there is not time to explain. It's also worth mentioning that Xbox players have two timed exclusives ending their exclusivity streak on PlayStation: the Monte Carlo and the coveted Hawkmoon. Even though the Hawkmoon stats aren't all that special, they still rank up right along with Fatebringer in terms of rate of fire, impact, and stability. What sets the hand cannon apart from the rest, though, is its exotic perk holding aces. When coupled with luck in the chamber, you have 3 bullets in each mag that have bonus damage, and even though they are random, they proc fairly often. You never know in what order though, and this has recently spurred a change where all 3 bonus damage perks can no longer stack on one bullet, causing the dreaded one-hit kill. Even though it was rare, just knowing it was possible made many a Guardians rage quit. Now, Monte Carlo is a super sleek, sexy auto rifle with Abyss Defiant-like stats. It excels in range, stability, and reload. Its futuristic look, Red Death-like bayonet, and beloved sight make this an auto rifle for many PvE builds, and has recently made a comeback in PvP thanks to the update 2.0. The exotic perk Monte Carlo Method states that dealing damage with this weapon rapidly cools your melee ability down, and grants a chance to fully recharge your melee upon a kill. Now, us Xbox players were given a lucky break when we accepted the Veterans Tour quest in the tower. Each player either received a Hawkmoon or a Monte Carlo. It's kind of funny, a PS4 player that I follow on Twitter posted a video of his deceptive engram, which is what this green engram is called, and it turned into a thorn. I felt kind of bad for the guy, but hey, he's already had his fun. It's my turn. Anyway, here's a clip of my momentous occasion. I was so excited that I didn't fully record the next 5 minutes of jumping, dancing, and swan dives off the tower. So sorry about that. Anyway, that brings us to the end. Hopefully this clears up some mystery on what's to come, and I really appreciate you guys watching your news here. I read all the comments, so tell me what you're excited to get. Has anybody heard anything else about the new exotics pulled from the database? I'm still working on my exotic special and heavy weapon videos, as well as exotic hunter and titan armor, so stay tuned to Sly Nation for the latest. This is your man Sly here, stepping out.
See you around.
What can we do for you?